What's up, you guys? What's up? It is your girl, She Go Hard, and we are live tonight for the Sextalez podcast. I'm not sure if my co-host will be joining me. She had a lot of things going on tonight, but if she joins in, we're gonna do what we gotta do. But we gotta keep that thing rolling. And Sextalez podcast. This is our 12th week, so we have been going 12 weeks. So this means this is the 12th episode. Um, and I'm excited about tonight. We are talking about and power and dynamics and relationships. And I wish that she was on here because I had a few questions for her regarding power and what that means in a poly relationship. Because my co-host is in a poly marriage, and um, I always wanted to know what the power dynamics was about that. We discussed something similar on a podcast before about power, but I knew that I would not, I didn't, I guess every relationship is different when it comes to poly and understanding the power dynamics. But when I was explaining the type of situation that I would like to have, um, I would have to be the first wife if I was to have that type of situation, or like black people do poly different than white people or other races. Um, I would have to be in a poly relationship like the Mormons, where each wife got their own house. And, we can have one big house together, or he would have to be financially in a position to be able to, for all of us to have our own house. And, we can have one big house in the middle where we do family gatherings or we can do sleepovers all together. But if I get a husband that want to be poly, he gonna have to buy every wife their own house. We're gonna have to have a compound. But tonight's episode is about power, and I got some real questions that I want to ask the audience out there. And since my co host is not here and I'm not asking her, I want you guys to drop a comment and let me know what you think about the power dynamics and the topics that come up in tonight's segment. And so we're going to get right into it. And our first segment of power is, do you shrink to make others comfortable? Me personally, I have done it before. I'm not going to act like I've never shrunk myself to make someone else comfortable. I think that women who are in relationships sometimes want their man to be comfortable and they do shrink themselves. I'm not sure if men do it. I haven't done a survey on it. So I can't say if a man will shrink himself, you know, over that. But power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the energy when you walk in the room. Sometimes a person can walk in the room and you immediately know, okay, this person got something about them. This person got some strong energy. They're confident. And, it's just things that don't need to be explained. But defining power as a self awareness and self control and presence. I will say this when you feel powerful, you feel like the world is in your hand. When you feel like you're in control, you feel like you're on top. And so people enjoy power. Every great person that did anything, they felt like they needed power. And hell, we got 50 Cent got a TV show called Power. It's all about being in control, being the lead, and, just knowing where you fit in. That's just like leaders are powerful. Followers are not necessarily powerful. I just got through watching the Nature Boy documentary, and people were wondering why he had men following him like that and doing the things that they were doing and allowing him to take their women and give them back to him. And that's because he was confident. He knew that he had the power. I don't know if he read the book 48 Laws of Power and just studied that motherfucker and, use that in his everyday teaching. But when you have power and the ability to direct people, lead people, manipulate people, it's different people have different powers. And some of those things in power is shrinking yourself to make them feel comfortable. The people that were in that relationship with him, or the cult, as they called it, they shrunk themselves to give him that power. And I just don't know if I can give anyone that type of power. Like, I mean, they didn't take baths, and you know, scent is a powerful thing. Like, who wants to? I don't know. I can't go without taking a bath, so I could have never joined the cult. Like, I like being out in nature. I like eating healthy and plants and all of that kind of stuff. But if the leader and the person in power said I couldn't take a bath, I would know automatically that that is not that is not the place for me. But our talking points of tonight, one of them is downplaying attraction, intelligence, or success. And that come with power dynamics. I think that sometimes people in relationships will downplay how intelligent they are because it may intimidate the person that they are dating or that they're dealing with. And in today's society, is so many women that make more money than men, or you know, they try to downplay their success so that they can allow the other person to lead. And I think that's wrong because essentially you need to find somebody that's on the same frequency, on your level. Back in the days when people used to say equally yoked, I didn't know what that meant. My mom used to say that all the time. When you find somebody that you're equally yoked with. And equally yoked, meaning that you accept them for them, they accept you for you. And there's not a I'm higher than you power dynamic. When it's those type of dynamics in a relationship, it's always room for some shit to go wrong. But and confusing humility with invisibility. Some people get in situations of power and feel like I'm gonna just hide my true self. And if you have to hide your true self, then you're not living. I feel like if you have to hide your true self, you're not living. But I haven't checked on my co-host. I'm gonna give her a little ring while we're on here. Oh, Jazz tried to call me. Let me call her back. Might have been them trying to. Okay, she said she's gonna be about 10 minutes late, and it's 8:08, so she'll be here in a few minutes, and we're still, at the top of the food chain when it comes to the podcast tonight. So, we're still gonna get into those poly questions that I had, and I'm not upset about that because I definitely wanted to ask her. But I need the audience, you guys, to ask yourself, if you have to become smaller for someone to love you, why do you feel like that's love? That's control. And again, y'all, Nature Boy had 46 episodes on Hood Horror. I did not watch the Hulu documentary because I saw some of the stuff in real time. And when I say I saw it in real time, I think I was following a couple of the pages, and I just saw how Nature Boy operated, and it really interested me how people get into situations like that. And it's ultimately all about control. And he had control over these people's lives. They did whatever he told them to do, they went where he told them to go. And it was about control. And to see men allow him to control them. Um, hey, Joe Blow. Yeah, some men do get intimidated when a woman makes more. Um, but I don't understand why. Why be intimidated because she's making more? That does not stop a man from being a man. That does not, like, a real woman is going to allow her man or her husband to be who he needs to be, the head of the household. Not everybody is old school, but I'm gonna let you know now, if he's not making anything, that's where the problem comes in. That's when that woman feels like she have control. I'm gonna tell you for myself, I have dated somebody in the past that financially wasn't where I was in life, and I felt like he couldn't tell me shit. I mean, it didn't start out like that. Everything was all good. He lost his job, and he just lost his motivation and went into depression and wasn't doing shit. And of course, I'm the type of person, I'm going to have your back. We went into that thing together. So I'm gonna have your back. But once he got depressed and lost his motivation and wasn't doing shit and thought he was gonna sit at home and play the game, it was over with for me. I was in control of everything. He couldn't tell me shit. If I wanted to go somewhere, I ain't saying shit. I'm gone. I'm gonna tell you where I'm going. And that's not the way that a marriage or a relationship should be. Just because that other person has control, I should have immediate. Once it got to that point, I tried to give him time, but I should have left that situation way before I did. In relationships, people break up in their head way before they physically leave the situation. And but at that point I was in control. It was nothing that he could tell me. So yes, I do understand why men feel intimidated by women that make more money, because the women ain't gonna listen. We ain't gonna listen. We ain't gonna do what you say unless it's, yeah, we ain't gonna do what you say. I don't know. Maybe some will. I probably would right now, depending on, the circumstances. But no, mm, I, I don't know about that. I don't know about that right there. But one of the questions says, should not be like that, but men don't know how to let her lead. I don't want to lead. I don't want to lead. I'm a real woman. I want the man to lead. I like to be. I want. I like control. There's nothing wrong with power and control. Some people like to be told or acting like they got control or assuming that they got control. I don't want to. I want to be in control of my happiness and some other things, but I don't want to be in control. I want a man to take the wheel. These women out here saying they want to be independent. I want to be a dependent at this point. I done been independent for a long time. I want to be somebody that's dependent. I still make money, but carry me on your goddamn taxes. Like, but let me get comfortable. Sit back in my chair. But yeah, I want I don't want to be in control. I want to be independent, but I want to be a dependent. So at this point in life, I need somebody to match me, meet me there, take me through there, all of the above. You know what I'm saying? But one of the questions is, who benefits when you stay quiet? The person in control benefits. My thing is, being quiet is not communication. If you're not telling a person how you feel, and you're just leaving it up for them to assume how you're feeling, being quiet doesn't help the situation. And that's how people get to a point where they done built up all of this anger, built up all of this aggression, and then all of that shit come out at one time on Mad Day. I am not a Mad Day person. I hate being a Mad Day person. My co-host, if she was on here, she'll tell you she tit for tat. I'm not a tit for tat person, but I hate a Mad Day person. And I used to be a Mad Day person. I used to be quiet and hold stuff in and not come out. Now, some of the people that stay quiet, they stay quiet because they don't like conflict. They don't like confrontation. And I'm not a confrontational person for the most part. So that's why I used to remain quiet, because I didn't like confrontation. And sometimes confrontation and Mad Day, that's when you get your feelings hurt. And my feelings, I used to be real emotional. I ain't emotional no more. So, I don't hold anything in. Whatever I need to communicate, I'm communicating right then and there, because I don't want to hold on to nothing and stay quiet. I want it out my heart, off my chest, so I can go on with my life. And the next day I wake up, I'm feeling better because I'm not thinking about it. Um, okay, Joe say some people can't. Would you like to join? You want the link to join? I can send you the link to join in so you can ask these questions live. I am reading them off, but um, he says some people can't handle the truth. Folks say, "Tell me what's on your mind," but when you do, the problems start. Um, yeah, because that is true. Some people can handle the truth, but I'd rather you tell me the truth. That's like that song that's out right now. Say, "I'd rather lie than to lose you." Don't lie to me. Just go on and tell me the truth and let me decide if I'm gonna go on and go about my business or whatever. Lose me. If I come, if you, what's all saying, if something meant for you, it'll come back. Let it go, it'll come back. Like, if tell me the truth. Don't not tell me the truth and let me find out later. Because that's like, I tell my kids. If you get something going on with you, you get in trouble, tell me before somebody else come and tell me. And that same applies in relationships. I feel like if people in a relationship and they cheating or they doing some stuff out there in the streets and people done heard about it, I don't want to hear shit from nobody else. One of my best friends, she's the same type. She do not want to hear anything from anybody else. Come tell me the truth and tell me what's on your mind. Let's get to the root of the problem. Um, One of the other questions is, are you being chosen or are you being tolerated? And I think all of the relationships that I've been in, I have been chosen. Um, I don't think I deal with people that just tolerate me. But I understand why people get in situations where they tolerate people because of financial reasons, because of stability. I met so many women that now get in relationships for stability and get in relationships for financial reasons. And so it ain't necessarily that they're choosing that person, they're tolerating that person because they're gaining something that they feel they're gaining. Me personally, I cannot be with somebody I'm not happy with. Like, you can have all the riches in the world, but if I am not, if I'm just tolerating you to have all of this, that means that I love this material stuff more than, I mean, but material things make some people happy. Then again, I might need to change my mind because, Lord, I done chose people because I love them. I probably should have been choosing for financial gain and stability. Been a Anna Nicole and marry me with somebody, marry somebody with one foot in the grave and just tolerated his old ass. But that's wrong. I feel like you get karma or whatever you want to call it. What you give is what you put out there is what you get back. And so that's why you see some of those people that choose those situations. Yeah, you got taken care of for years, but then when that person decides to up and leave you, you stuck starting over and with no window to throw the piss out, no pot to piss in. Y'all know I be saying them old sayings and they be all messed up. What is the pot to piss in? No window to throw it out. But you know, I've always chosen people based on the connection, based on the energy, and a lot of people don't realize when you're dealing with somebody that's financially in a position, they're gonna have that control over you because they control how you eat, they control how you live, they control everything about your life. And maybe I just wasn't comfortable giving somebody that type of control, or I'm too talented to give somebody that type of control. But we're gonna go on into the next section. The next section is sexual power defined. What sexual power really is. And sexual power equals confidence in your body, voice, and boundaries. Um, a lot of people are not confident in their body. They're not confident in their voice and not confident in their boundaries. And so therefore they get with people and they get digmatized. It is what it is. That's those people where somebody have sexual power over you. And I think most women have ran into a dick demon. And what I call a dick demon, that's the ones that put it on them and they can't think straight. You can't think straight. You just all over the place, and they have that type of power over you. They can call you at any time. You just met them a week ago when y'all slept together and it was so good, and he moving in 2 days later. You know how many people move in together after they done had some powerful sex? Like I done seen it happen so many times. That's why God knew not to make me a man because I would probably be a dick demon out there if he would have gave me a nice size one. And if my co-host was on here, she would be laughing because I'm always talking about the small ones and the erectile dysfunction ones. They ain't got that type of power. They do not have that type of power. So a man that ain't well endowed or can't get it up, he don't have the same type of power as a man that has it. And one of the talking points said it's not about performance, it's about presence. I don't agree with that. It's all about performance. It ain't about presence because you can have a nice size and don't know what to do with it. It's about the performance. Yes, it's about the wave in the ocean. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all these old sayings. There's so many I used to hear. The motion in the ocean. I don't know. It's about how big the wave is or some shit like that. But no, it is not. It's definitely about the performance and not just the presence. But you have some people that don't care about the performance. They love that person. That person can underperform or not perform at all. I'm not one of them people. I mean, I when I pray to God, um, in every relationship that I done got in, a person that God done sent to me, that was one of the things on the list. The performance had to be on point, and the presence too. They had to have both. But sometimes the performance will lead you down a path that you don't even want to go in. They be thinking they on the path of righteousness, and they on the path of losing their mind. Y'all know women like to go cut tires. I think they cutting tires and popping up at a man house and all that kind of stuff because the performance is bad. No, the performance is there and the presence is there. They feel the presence of somebody else in their heart. That's why they pulling up on these niggas and they popping up at their house. So yes, performance and presence matter. Um, it also says it's knowing you are desirable without chasing validation. A person that know what they got, a person that know what they got, they go into the situation knowing what's the outcome. What's the outcome? That's just and you might not even have good. You might just feel that in your mind, but it's about that confidence going into the situation. Now, if you get your bubble bust, that's one thing. Because a lot of these women get their bubble bust, and men do too. Nobody wants to hear that it wasn't good because they think they got the. Everybody think they got the best. Nobody think that theirs is mediocre or it ain't you and the ones that talk the most shit be the ones that it ain't that good. Like I don't even have to talk about mine. It be them ones that act innocent. I ain't gonna talk about me and tell my business, but them ones that be acting innocent and all quiet, them be the ones be having people running over curbs and doing all kind of stuff to get to them. And it also says emotional control enhances attraction. Yes, absolutely. Emotional control will take you, when they say take you through there, that's like when people get choked when they having sex. That's a part of emotional control. That's you taking control of that moment. And for those of you that don't like to get choked, I don't know what to tell you, but it's some of the best shit ever. Try it for once in your life. This is the Sextalez podcast. We're gonna tell you how we feel and what it really is. Um, you're right. Some women don't have that grip game, but they all think they do. Not nobody think that theirs is loose. Not no man think that theirs is small. Now, it's some men that have accepted that, hey, because they in the gym or a locker with, people and notice that, hey, that one is way bigger than mine. But nobody wants to feel like it ain't that good. And somebody done told them it's good. I done told people it's good and I knew it wasn't good. Yeah, women tell me and stuff all the time, be lying. It's big. Oh, it's so big. It's not, Pinky. It's so big. It's huge. Boost their ego. But why? I'm gonna call someone in, and I wonder if she's in there. Hillary, Hill B. Oh, she might be gone. I was gonna call somebody in and ask them that. You can't tell people the truth all the time. I think some of these people, if you tell them the truth, it will devastate them. Like they'll feel like they're being attacked. When you tell people the truth, they feel like they're being attacked. People can't handle the truth. We just said that earlier. Some people cannot handle the truth. They feel like they're being attacked. But the next question is, do you feel powerful in your own skin alone? I personally feel powerful, but some people have so many insecurities that they cannot feel powerful. Um, and those type of people will get with somebody, and we'll go back to the power we talked about in the beginning. The people that harbor insecurities within, they will get with somebody that knows how to invoke that power and invoke that control. And don't let them be a narcissist. They're going to build them up, and then they're going to tear them down worse than what they already were. So, you have to feel powerful in your own skin. You have to be able to look in the mirror and say, I look in the mirror and say, I'm that bitch. I'm her at all times. Have I always felt like that? No. I used to be real insecure. Not real insecure. I always, kind of been tough, but I had insecurities that I held within that I never faced. And those insecurities came out in relationships. So I had to be comfortable in my own skin. I had a scar. I got a scar on my back. And me having that scar on my back, I was ashamed. I don't know why I was ashamed of it for years because I felt different. I felt like no, other people don't have this scar. This from my neck to my ass, and it's different, and I don't want nobody to see it. So I didn't feel powerful in my own skin. I felt I was flawed. I didn't think I was unique. I didn't think I'm special, and this is how God made me, and this is just something that have shaped and molded me in life. It was an insecurity. And so, therefore, I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I didn't feel comfortable getting undressed in front of people until I really got to know them. So, you know, you got to feel powerful in your own skin when you're alone. And I got a song out there on the Sextalez album. It's called Mirror. When y'all get time, go listen to that song called Mirror. And the words of the song say, in the mirror, like, damn, I'm a fine ass chick. I got niggas and hoes trying to get with this. Looking in the mirror, feeling myself. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm feeling myself. You have to look in the mirror and know that you are beautiful inside and out. Now, if y'all motherfuckers out there ugly, bad attitudes and all that kind of stuff, you can be ugly on the inside, look good on the outside, and you'll lose your power because you're ugly on the inside. But do you need validation to feel attractive? I don't need validation to feel attractive, but in today's society of social media and women bodies being displayed on social media all the time, people need validation to feel attractive. If they're not getting enough likes on their posts, they're not feeling validated. When they're walking out, if somebody's not telling them they look good, they don't feel validated. You have to be able to know that you're attractive regardless. You know you're attractive regardless. And sometimes people don't know they're attractive until they post and other people say it. So sometimes it's a good thing. It's not always a negative thing, but you have some people that turn into attention seekers and that's all they live off of. They feel like they have to be validated. And I'm gonna tell y'all what's crazy is recently I was learning to dance with my daughter and I didn't even think I was even looking that good. I feel like I look good all the time anyway, but I didn't think that that would be the type of post that 100,000, 200,000 people would gravitate to. And, it was what it was. And so when I saw that it was shared 4,000 times, they had 1,000 comments. I'm like, wow, what are these people looking at? But, it was my titties. And I wasn't thinking about my titties because shit, they on my goddamn body. I wake up with these motherfuckers every day. And so I wasn't thinking that the post was going to go like that and have all of that going on with the post. But then, I had to realize that I'm a beautiful person inside and out. So I didn't need to see 100,000 likes on my picture or 1,000 shares and all of that kind of shit to feel validated. I'm like, okay, these people see me, and I'm not. I didn't even feel like I was at my best in that video, but I did feel good to know that hey, they like me on a regular day. But the next question say, are you leading your energy or reacting to others? I always try to lead with my own energy. One thing about me, I after years of being me, I know I give off a certain frequency and I attract people to me. So you have to lead with your own energy. And when you're leading with an energy that you're hiding yourself or you're leading with your insecurities, that's when you allow other people to get power over you and take control over you. And I'm gonna go back to that documentary. Um, a lot of those people on that documentary had that within. The men, they had daddy issues, so they looked at him as a father figure. So they came in leading with that type of energy. And when you give that type of energy, especially to a person, I ain't gonna call Nature Boy I, he was, hmm, he was demonic. He might have been demon possessed. But when a person has that type of power and that type of energy that he has, it is easy for them to spot somebody that they can take fast. You know, like back in the days, like, I'm gonna take this nigga fast. Like, women talk to men and they can spot or sense the energy that I can get over on them. So you definitely have to lead with an energy knowing yourself. And that goes back to the feeling powerful in your own skin. Um, so y'all, ooh, we moving fast. It's already 30 minutes in. So it's 30-minute section. Our 30-minute section is about power in relationships. Power in relationships, who holds the power, and should anyone control it? Hmm. I don't think anyone should control it. I think a relationship is like a partnership. Um, we've come together to be one. We should be able to walk together. We should be able to move at the same pace, move at the same energy, the same frequency. So some of the things that we talk about is healthy relationships, shared power, not domination. I can never be in a relationship that's domination. Not that I'm equal or anything like that. A king is a king, a queen is a queen. I can't be a man and he can't be a woman. But at the same time, we have shared power. Everything has its place. Emotional manipulation versus emotional leadership. Um, People are easy to get manipulated. That go back to sexual power. If the dick good, she might be able to get manipulated to do anything if it's good, and vice versa. But emotional leadership, um, they say men shouldn't be emotional. Women are emotional beings. So I think that a man balances a woman out sometimes when he's a man. But these niggas out here is emotional. A lot of them is emotional. So, I don't know. I don't know. I need to get, I should have brought some people on to talk about relationships because I'm single. So, when I choose to be single, it's not because I can't find nobody. They all on the list. I just like my peace right now. So you got to be selective. I can't just give somebody that power. Because if I'm in a relationship, my husband, my man, whoever I'm with is going to have a certain level of power because that's just how I was raised. That's the dynamics I like. But these men out here is real emotional these days. I don't like calling no man sassy. Like I think women need to take that term out of their vocabulary, calling men sassy. If they are, every man ain't sassy. But I will say that a lot of these men are very emotional these days. And maybe it's something they put in the food. Like the chicken, they put hormones in the chicken now. And, um, maybe I need to eat some different food to get these emotions up out of here. But consistency is power. Consistency is power. And I think a lot of people in relationships don't realize how you start out in a relationship is what you need to continue. You have so many people that start out in a relationship being one way, and then once they get that person, they switch it up. And that's when the power dynamics change. Because I'm the type of person, how you start with me is how we need to continue. Because if you want the same person you got in the beginning, you have to be the same person that you got in the beginning. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ain't no negotiations about it. You have to be that same person throughout. We all do change, we all grow. But if you started out in the beginning, um, giving me foot massages, and then once we get together, oh, I don't do that no more. That's a problem for me because why the fuck was you doing it in the beginning? Like, no. Because if I'm cooking in the beginning, I'm gonna keep cooking through the relationship. So I'm gonna still be giving what I give. I need you to equally do the same. Um, so it says silence, distance, and attention are forms of influence. I ain't never, I ain't never been able to do the silent treatment. I have distanced myself from people. I would disappear in a minute. That's something I still do. Um, Disappear. I got to make you feel my energy gone. I got to make you feel no. I need to be appreciated. So that is a certain type of control that I exercise in people that are in my life. I will go ghost on you. Change my phone number. Y'all be looking for me. Y'all be looking for me. There's people looking for me right now. They probably, gonna see this live and be like, there she go. Yeah. No. Red flags. You feel confused more than you feel secure. I don't like confusion. I'ma move around. If I'm not secure, I'ma move around. There's no negotiation with that. Um, you're always proving your worth. You shouldn't have to prove your worth. If you know your worth, you ain't trying to prove it to nobody. You ain't trying to prove it to nobody. Proving your worth is really showing a person that they can manipulate you. Yeah, you showing them. That's like one of these. I watch documentaries all the time, and on one of the documentary, they said that to prove that they loved him, Nature Boy, to prove that they loved him, the man was drinking his semen. You mean to tell me I'm a man and I to prove that I respect you and look up to you and let you control me? I got to no. So no, it is not. It is not at all. Um, Love shouldn't feel like a competition either, and that's part of narcissism when people use triangulation. A narcissist uses triangulation to put the two people that love them in competition with each other. And that's just a no go for me. That's something I'm not going to involve myself in. And anybody out there that's going through it, if you feel like you got to compete with somebody else for their love, then that ain't the situation you need to be in. You need to be the people, poly relationships don't it's not like a competition. Think about it. Poly relationships, they have multiple wives. The wives shouldn't feel like they're in competition with each other. If if they all agree to be in this relationship, he should have enough energy and love to go around. And that's why I said if I ever did a poly relationship, he got to have some money and we got to live on a compound and everybody got to have their own house. Okay, I'm cool with not being in competition. And I would feel like it's a competition if we all in the same house. Because who gonna sleep in the master bedroom? Who is gonna get that closet? Who is gonna have the garden tub? Like I don't want to be in competition for that. That's why if I ever got in that type of relationship, he got to have some money. We got to have some land. And if you want a new wife, we gonna build her a house. Look, find out what kind of house she want, how she want her house to her liking, and we about to build that because I want mine this way. And see, I can't come into, and the only way I can come into that type of situation, he got to already have that and build me a house. I don't mind being. On another podcast, I said I had to be the first wife. Now that I really think about it, I don't have to be the first wife. He just got to be able to build me my own house because she already in the master bedroom. She already got the walk-in closet. Unless he got a house so big that every bedroom got a master bathroom and closet. And my house, my room is on the other wing of the house. Y'all heard what I said? Wing, not like I'm walking past the kitchen and then it's right there. No, my room got to be on the other wing of the house. I need my own house. You got to build it from the ground up. We on a compound. That's the only way. So y'all out there that be asking me, trying to add me to y'all relationships because my cousin Polly and I see a lot of these people. I would never be with y'all. Y'all all living in one 3-bedroom house. Um, it might probably be a nice house, but that's not how I'm trying to live. I need my own walk-in closet. Yep. I need my own master bathroom. I need my own bedroom. Yeah, we might all can sleep in the bed together sometime, but I don't want a nigga throwing my pH balance on me. I just don't. And them the questions I want to ask. See, my cousin ain't come on here tonight. I ain't get to ask her about pH balance, but I guess that's another episode. Um, Are you respected or just desired? I've been in situations where it's both. I've been in a situation where I was respected, and I've been in a situation where I was just desired. And neither one of them was bad, though. I mean, I like being respected. I like being desired. I want you to respect me and desire me, because if you do, then it's gonna be everything for me. Do you feel safe expressing? We just talked about that. Some people don't can't handle the truth. So sometimes expressing yourself can lead into some other stuff. And once you're with a person and you know, okay, if I express this to them, we about to be going through relationship problems for the next couple of weeks, and you just don't even want the headache behind that. Is love being given or being negotiated? These are questions I want y'all to ask. This is a question I want y'all to answer in the comments on this post. When I post this clip, are you being, is your love being given or being negotiated? I'm not negotiating my love. When I love somebody, I love them. And that's just what that is. It's no ups and downs or in and out about that. Either I love you or I don't. But I will say that my cutoff is strong. My cutoff is super strong. I'm too old to not pay attention to red flags, and there's certain red flags that I will cut your ass off so fast. And no relationship is 100. No person is 100. Even if it's 80-20, it can be 80% good and 20% of some bullshit. But you just have to decide if that 20% of bullshit is some shit that you can actually deal with. And I've had somebody before that was 80% good. I loved everything about them except for the 20%. And that 20% was so fucked up that I couldn't deal with them. Yeah, that 20% was so fucked up. And the 20% was, I had self-diagnosed this man with intimate explosive disorder. You know them type of people that it can be something so small, but they blow up like it's so big. And I ain't talking about no cheating or nothing like that. You supposed to blow up about shit like that. But like, let's say, you got one beer left, or and mistakenly knocked the bottle over and it wastes, and you to the roof, and I fucking beard and went on the floor, and it's like you can't just drive to the store and get another fucking beer. That's my mindset. Drive to the store and get another one. Like, the store is not far. But you have people that blow up over any little thing. And that can be that 20%. And that's like a person that's argumentative, like to argue, or something like that. They can be 80% good. But if I know they're that type of person, that's something that I can't deal with. That's something that I don't want to deal with in my life. I'm very laid back. I communicate well. So I cannot deal with somebody that likes to argue. So they can have 80% good, but if that 20% includes you like to argue, I ain't. No. Finesse two times. Say no. No, I ain't about to do it. Um, but knowing your power, self awareness, and emotional discipline. Your power is your standards. And boundaries are not punishment. Some people think that when you set boundaries, that's a punishment. You have to set boundaries with people, because if you don't, they'll run all over you. The more you chase, the less power you feel. And that's why I learned not to chase people. Everybody know, especially if you grew up in the South, this is something that they used to say: people don't want you until you want them. Like, you'll meet somebody and y'all doing good, and you will fall in love with them and really want them, and that's when they, all standoffish. But time you stop liking their ass, that's when they start liking you. So the more you chase, the less power you feel, because when you're the one chasing, you're giving them the power, because now everything is in their hand. And some people in relationship, I ain't gonna just say men and women, when they know they got you in the palm of their hand, oh, they handle you any kind of way. They gonna handle you any kind of way. I know I got them, so I can do this. I'm gonna do that, and I ain't gonna worry about it. And they don't care how you feel until you wake up and you decide, okay, you know what? I ain't about to deal with this. I'm about to exit left. And when they know you about to go, That's when they switch it up and they want you so bad. But I'm one of them people. If you got me, you better keep me where you got me at. Because if you let me get out of that space where I don't like you no more, I don't want you no more, it's over with. It's over with. I'm not chasing. I ain't calling. I ain't doing none of that. I told y'all earlier, I will disappear. Like you will never hear from me again. Literally. And me, I block people. Some people say I don't block people. I let them watch. No, I don't even want you watching me. You don't even need to see me out of sight, out of mind. Out of mind. I'm blocking you from a phone, from social media, from everything. So yeah. They go to look for me online, baby. You can't even pull up my page. And I turn into an investigator. I'm blocking even the pages I think your page or people you think you gonna see my page through. I'm blocking you and all your friends. That's what Pimp C said. Fuck you or fuck all your friends. Soon as Pimp C come through in that 600 bins, I'm blocking all y'all. So you ain't about to look at your friend phone while you sit next to him to look at me. I prefer um talking out an issue. I don't need no. I want to talk about it and get it over with because I don't want to sleep on. I don't like going to sleep mad. I don't. Um. Yeah, I don't like going to sleep mad. So I don't want to wake up with nothing heavy on me. I don't want to wake up with nothing heavy on me at all. Okay. Um. What do you allow that weakens your peace? Hmm. What do I allow that weakens my peace? I don't allow anything at this point to weaken my peace. But I think in the past, I allowed my love for people to weaken my peace because I have a forgiving heart. So forgiveness weakens my peace because I will forgive a person. I used to. I will forgive a person and allow them back in my space. See, I didn't know how to forgive people and not allow them back in my space. I will forgive them and allow them back in my space. So says where do you overgive? Man, like some of these questions is for the past. Um, I don't overgive no more. I don't overgive information. I don't overgive money. I don't overgive time. I don't overgive anything at this point. And see, overgiving too much information, that's giving a person power. That's giving them control. And I have met a bunch of mad day people. And so when you overgive, you overshare, you tell them too much, mad day come. And guess what? The same information that you done overgave to their ass, they're using that as a weapon. So I try my best not to overgive at this point. And even with time, the worst thing you can do is be mad at yourself for giving a motherfucker too much of your time. It's people be in relationship for years, 5 to 10 years, and they knew they should have left 2 years in. They didn't gave too much of their time. So y'all got to stop overgiving people your time, your love. It's your life, and it ain't. You only live once. You live every day. You die once. Once you die, you out of here. You live every day. So stop overgiving your time. Your time is valuable, and that's what people got to know. Your time is valuable. Your time is power. That's why when a person asks me, hit me up when you free. I'm never free. I'm never free. My time is never free. Um, what would you change if you stopped trying to be chosen? I don't try to be chosen. I feel like what happens, happens. I don't think people should try to be chosen. I feel like in this universe, in this world, you meet the people that you're supposed to encounter in life instead of trying to be chosen. I can't. That question don't resonate with me at all. But it says your power is not what you can get from people; it's in what you no longer accept. It definitely is, and that's the one thing that people have to learn. It's what you accept. A person is only going to do what you allow. And you have to know what you will and will not accept. And some people take a long time to learn that. And, but once you learn that, your vision is so much brighter. You understand life so much more. But that comes with learning yourself, learning the power that you have within. And so the point of this whole episode is about power. You have to learn the power that you possess. And when you know the power that you possess, you're not going to accept anything. That's like food. Mm-mm. If I'm spending my money on food, I'm not going to accept some bullshit. I don't feed myself bullshit no more in life. So if I go somewhere in I will still pay for my food and leave. I ain't going to eat it. Some people get some messed up food and still eat it because they don't want to send it back. You giving them power over the money you just spent, power over your hunger. That's you giving somebody else power. So no, I stopped doing that a long time ago. But we got some final questions for tonight to say, are you shrinking or standing? I'm definitely standing at this point. I don't think I ever shrunk myself. I've been me for a long time. I've been fine with time like wine. Um, I'm definitely standing. And it says, are you performing or being real? I'm doing both. Sometimes life is a performance. I feel like my life is a movie, so I'm performing and being real at the same time. You can't do two things at once. You can't multitask. Are you controlling or are you aligned? I ain't controlling anything. I feel like at this day and time, I'm aligned with everything that I'm supposed to be aligned with. Anybody that comes into my life is about alignment. They're supposed to be there, whether good, whether bad, whether a lesson, whether a loss. Um, Everything is about alignment right now. But one thing I want everybody to do is move differently this week. Speak a little slower, choose wiser, observe more, and take control over your own life, your own self. Some people live for their parents. Some people live to prove a point to other people or care about what other people think. You have to live for yourself. You have to be able to look in the mirror and look at yourself and be comfortable with who you are. And if that's not what you're doing, start today. I don't know who this message is for, but start today. Live for you because now is the time of alignment. We don't know what's going to happen next. The world crazy out here. The aliens will be here in 2 months. I'm saying that, but I don't know for real. But the government saying all kind of stuff about disclosure. But it's just time for us to align ourselves with our true purpose in life. And if your life is to be lived, live it. Because you never know what's going to happen. You don't know what tomorrow may bring. So you have to live for today. And that's why my thing is you live every day. You die once. And once you're gone, you're gone. Your spirit will come back or however the shit work. I really don't know how it work for real. But choose you. And that's the whole point of this segment today. You have the power within to choose yourself, to look in the mirror at yourself and know that you are worth everything that you know you're worth. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I done looked in the mirror and thought I was ugly. I probably was ugly, hadn't slept and had bags under my eyes and stuff like that. But once I woke all the way up and put my serum on my face, I knew I was pretty again. But I chose my fucking self. I chose to get it together. I chose to think differently. I chose to look back in the mirror and say, okay, you can do this. And that's all some of you people got to say to yourself. I can do this. Simple as that. No, for real. People do look at me. I probably was ugly that day. I'm talking about like you wake up and be old sometimes. You think when people wake up and they old, they don't think that thought. That's a thought that go through people's head. That is definitely a thought that goes through people's head. But no, I told y'all, even if I was ugly on the outside, I'm a beautiful person inside. And so I feel like that's the energy that I give off. Now let me tell you something. I know it's one ugly person that I know personally, and they're ugly on the inside. So that's what makes them so ugly on the outside. And it's probably from something that happened to them a long time ago. But I wish this ugly motherfucker would look in the mirror and, change their ways. Because maybe if she look in the mirror at herself and see how ugly she is on the inside, she might become beautiful on the outside. I mean, that's a stretch. But anyway, this is the this is the Sex Tales podcast. I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure you drop your comments, subscribe to the YouTube page. It is YouTube backslash Sex Tales or at Sex Tales. I am on Facebook, She Go Hard. You can also follow Sex Tales on Kick. You can follow us on Instagram at Sex Tales. The album is out on Apple Music, which is the Sex Tales album. And hit me up with your questions. We here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. from 8 to 9. And we do let people join the live audience. So the link is always on my page if you want to join the live audience. But truly, truly thank everyone that's tuned in. If you watch this video after the live, drop a comment on anything that you heard in the segment, any questions that were asked, and just give me your opinion. But I am She Go Hard. My co-host is Three Way Tie. She was not here tonight, but she will be joining in next week. And we thank you for joining in on this live. Sex Tales, word of the week, power. Take your power back. And if you have it already, keep it, baby. Don't let nobody take it from you. And go look in the mirror at yourself and know that you are the shit. And that's it for tonight, y'all. Peace out. Thank you for joining.